Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alex Massoth. I wish to focus on the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has affected me as a first-year college student in very challenging ways. To begin with, I have not met any of my classmates since the start of school in August. Not being able to interact with my fellow students, attend school activities, enjoy being on campus are all things that have affected me this semester. Next semester doesn't look any better. Hopefully, with a vaccine coming out in the spring, this will give me a more optimistic outlook. What is my connection to this topic, and how is it relevant to my life? I've been under a family-imposed lockdown since February. Our family's main concern is how to remain virus-free and how to keep our grandparents who live nearby safe. As a student at BSU, I've been taking classes online for the first time in my life. I also have a part-time job and am trying to practice all of the measures needed to keep me virus-free. So far, I think I'm doing well. However, I have not been tested. I have had several close family members get the virus and have different levels of sickness. Fortunately, no one in my family has been hospitalized. There are two ways that a pandemic ends: the medical and the social. What we are noticing in our communities is that the social ending is happening even though there is no medical ending at this time. In the article, 3 Months of Loneliness During the COVID-19 Lockdown, Social Isolation and the Loneliness That Goes With It is very impactful. In April, 93.6% of people surveyed were sheltering in place. In May, it was reduced to 78.8%, and by June, 44.8%. The number of coronavirus 19 cases has grown exponentially since that time. There has been over 275,000 deaths due to the virus to date. On December 1st, 2020, there were 2,752 deaths, setting a new record. Dr. Redfield of the CDC said that if Americans don't start wearing masks, the death toll could be 450,000 by February of next year. How do I think the virus has affected my college experience? I would like to say that the COVID-19 virus has had a dramatic effect on my college experience. I have not met one of my classmates all semester. The isolation has been hard on my mental health. I've had anxiety. In an article in Psychiatry Research in June of this year addressing collegiate mental health amid COVID-19 pandemic, I learned that depression of college students has been profound. Suicide rates among college students worldwide has seen an increase, and to add to that difficulty of being in isolation is the fact that receiving treatment face-to-face with a counselor is impossible. As the pandemic is nowhere near being under control, I feel that mental health issues will continue to grow. Colleges are also faced with making their online classes meeting the standards set for higher learning, integrity, and accountability. There are some very serious issues facing students because of the virus. College tuitions have been growing more expensive in the last few years due to several reasons. The economic crisis in 2008 had a profound effect on colleges. This is a big problem for low-income and middle-class students who have to borrow money to attend college. Another effect for the institutions themselves is affected by fewer grants, endowments, and reduced state budgets. Colleges faced with the additional catastrophe of COVID-19 virus are having to rethink their future in this uncharted territory. In the article on the impact of higher education, the essential role of integrity and accountability, a scientist named John introduced the idea that there are ecological elements to the changes happening in the educational market of higher education. The elements of people, place, physical, and social technologies, and how they interact with the ebb and flow of the functions of government. He said that people in government must be aware and plan how to react. By understanding that this is a potential catalyst for people of traditional policies and institutions. Today, this is more relevant than ever. The reality of discrimination on poor students is very important going forward. Institutions of higher learning must rethink their spending habits and direct funding to more useful spending to make education available to all of the students seeking a higher education. The current COVID-19 pandemic is a catastrophe like no other. It is very clear that higher education institutions must create new ways of collecting tuition in a way that is fair to all students, especially to those students who are poor and unable to pay for their tuition. There is no issue such as day-to-day expenses that are compromised by the current environment. Isolating students makes it very difficult at best to obtain part-time work to pay for living expenses other than tuition. There must be oversight to make sure that tuitions of higher learning and ethic are ethical and fair. The oversight must be done by a credible institution like the NASPAA, Network of School of Public Policy Affairs Administration.